Hey chickies, okay, the continuing saga of my broken nail. The just straight gluing wasn't holding up as well as I thought it might. Like it was looking really good, and then turned out that it wasn't holding up because I changed my polish so many times, like sometimes multiple times a day. Um, you know, that just wasn't going to hold up for a very good length of time. So. Now, China Nails XO mentioned the tea bag method, which I've used before in the past um, on my previous broken nail video. So I thought I'd literally show you how to do that. I couldn't find I do have silk wraps, which I would normally have used, but I couldn't find them, so decided to do the tea bag method. Anyway, let's get into it. I hope you can find this helpful. So for the tea bag method, you're obviously going to need an actual tea bag. I'm using a Lipton's black tea bag. No particular reason, just because that's what I have. You're going to cut the top of it off, empty it out, and then you're going to cut it up, and you're going to cut it in half, like so that it's a singular piece of like little tea bag paper. Now, see, you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so there you have it, and you just cut the tea bag up insofar as it's the size of sort of your nail. Now, because my break is pretty much across my entire nail, I'm cutting a piece that's hopefully going to cover that entire break. So once you have your little piece of tea bag cut out, you want to just measure it up against your nail and make sure it's going to fit. Now, I'm using the same glue I used before because it's the only glue that I have. It says gel on the bottle, but I think it's just basically nail glue. So you're going to take your glue and you're going to put a thin layer of glue onto your nail, covering the break, but also going back a little bit further on your nail as well, because we want a good amount of coverage for this little tea bag. So once you have your glue on, you're going to place your tea bag onto the glued area, the area where you've put the glue, and you can see that it soaks straight into the actual tea bag paper. So you want to pat that down, and it's best to use either an orange wood stick or something metal as well, like I'm using my tweezers. So obviously using your finger is absolutely not recommended. Now, in the hopes to make this extremely strong, I'm adding another coat of the glue over the top of the tea bag just to give it that extra punch of strength. It gets across. Now, the good thing about using tweezers like these ones is that you can use it to hold down the tea bag to keep it from sort of lifting up. You can see that I'm trying like my hardest to lift it up, even though that's not my intention. And you don't have to hold the tweezers there for a super long amount of time, just maybe a minute or two maximum, just to keep that sort of, especially on the actual edge. So next I'm going to cut off the excess of the tea bag that's hanging over the tip of my nail. Then after waiting for that second layer of glue to dry, I added yet another layer of glue because I really wanted to keep this nail. And after about 20 minutes, after all the layers of glue were completely dry, it's then time to finish it off with a buffer. I'm using I&M Nails Buffer Finisher. It's a 100 by 180 grit. One's quite a coarse side and the other side's quite soft. So firstly, I take off the very edge of the tea bag. And once the excess tea bag is all completely gone, it's time to buff the top of my nail. And this is where you want to be exceedingly careful. Like I cannot stress enough how important it is that you are not buffing your actual nail. You should only be buffering that tea bag section. It is inevitable basically that you will accidentally buff some of your nail. Be mindful of that. You do not want to thin the walls of your nails or your nail bed, because will create problems in the future. So once you've buffed that completely out as much as you possibly can without damaging your actual nail bed, you can see how I've got it pretty flush with my natural nail, so fingers crossed. Anyway, this is pretty much, yeah, just fingers crossed all around. Before adding any top coats or anything like that, I'm going to add some Cushio's Milk and Honey Cuticle Revitalizer Complex, which is basically cuticle oil. It's a very nice smelling one, and it just happened to be the one I picked up. No particular other reason at all. But I'm going to leave that on there for maybe an hour before I do any top coating. Now, I also wanted to mention, before using OPI's Nail Envy Pink to Envy on my nail, I used some isopropyl alcohol to clean my nail plate, and that's why it's not all shiny like it was when I had the oil on it. You cannot put nail polish over oil. So it was just the nail plate itself that I was cleaning, my nail bed, my actual nail. It wasn't cleaning the skin around my nails. That still got oil on it. It's just taking the oil off the nail plate. Once the first coat of OPI's Nail Envy was dry, I then added a second coat. Now, as you can see, my nail looks kind of scungy. I don't like it, but what are you going to do? And I'm going to paint my nails anyway, so you won't even be able to see that, so it's not a big deal. Anywho, I really hope you liked this. I hope it was helpful. I really hope that it holds up. It may not, but you know, that's just life. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing, and thanks for that delicious thumbs up. Bye.